So you eliminate the risk. So that possibility is there. So in your projects also, certain risks you would be able to eliminate. Okay. So for example, even for tsunami, you might be able to eliminate it using certain technologies. I'm not sure, but depending on where your building is located, sometimes using some technologies, you might be able to eliminate it. Right? However, the potential is usually for such kind of risk is to control. We say mitigate sometimes, right? So we do certain things to minimize either the cost or the loss or the chances or both, right? So you can't say for the tsunami case, you can't control the tsunami from happening, right? That you can't control. So what you can do is minimize the damage if tsunami occurs. So now there are various different say construction technologies introduced to minimize the damage if a tsunami occurs. So you mitigate, right? So you cannot totally eliminate, but you minimize the loss, right? Then another option is that say there's nothing you can do, or there's nothing you want to do. Either case, you accept, okay, this can happen. I know this can happen, but there's nothing I'm going to do about it. But if that happens, I must be ready for that, right? Otherwise, my project will get halted or might stop. So I have to have appropriate budget for it. So you have to keep an allocation, budgeted allocation, to cover that loss if you accept. There's just a noise coming from your mic, right? So you, if you accept to keep it, you don't do anything about it, then you have to keep allocation to cover that, right? That is necessary. Otherwise, you can't go forward. But however, some popular option is to transfer the risk, right? So many different types of risk we transfer, primarily to insurance, right? We transfer our risk primarily to insurance. So what insurance does is that because we know the risk involves two things. One thing is the loss, and other one is the probability of happening. So while the loss can be high, the probability of happening that is, say, at a certain level that, say, it will not happen always. So what insurance companies do is that they combine these risks of many different people and share this with everybody. So whoever faces the loss is compensated by the shared amount as everybody pays as the premium. So that's sort of a strategy they use. So they collect a premium little higher than what is actually needed, and they make a profit out of it, right? So that kind of a strategy is there in the insurance industry. So it is based on the probability calculation, probability chance calculations, etc. They come up with these different strategies, right? So that is a popular option. The other option is to outsource to other party, not insurance. Say, for example, you can subcontract risky work to somebody else, right? So you outsource the risk. say, along with the risk. You don't take the risk. Along with the risk, you outsource the work. Then that party will take the risk of that. That sort of possibilities are there when we talk about risk management, right? So when we develop our project strategy, we have to therefore consider various different things. So what I wanted to highlight here, actually, I did not talk about all different things that we consider. What I wanted to highlight here is that we are bringing in many different subject matters in devising this strategy. So when we talk about project procurement, therefore, say it's a subject area that encapsulates knowledge from many different subject areas. So procurement, therefore, is not sort of a same subject that you can take independently. So we talk about various things there, but when you want to understand procurement properly, then you have to actually think critically, bring in all different things that you know from various other subjects to make sense of things happening, make interpretations about various things that you want to happen in there when you want to plan and all these things. So the project strategy that we develop like that is a structure that we develop, right? Is a structure that we develop to get done our project by considering all these different things to make sure we reach our goal. What is our goal? Getting our building done successfully, right? So to fulfill the client's needs, that is the fulfillment of the client needs, getting the building done to fulfill the client's need, right? Within the constraints that we have to operate in and properly managing risks. Of course, to do this, we have to identify suitable parties and put them together in that temporary multi-organization in a proper structure. So it is the architecture. When I say architecture, don't get confused with this architecture in construction or building architecture, right? This is the architecture of that we say design or arrangement of that structure that we create. We create a structure by bringing in these people, putting them together, allocating risks appropriately to different parties, and get them to work together in this structure so that they together can give out the building the client wants, right? So that temporary multi-organization, that structure, design of the temporary multi-organization is actually our project strategy. So to get done our project, we design that temporary multi-organization. So when we say design, we design what parties to be there and how they interact, what responsibilities they are taking, right? How to make them do their part of work. All these things we have to plan. So we design that temporary multi-organization so that it can give out the building that we want. Because strategy is to get what we want. What we want is our building, right? So we come up with this temporary multi-organization structure, and it has to be a well thought design, right? We may be less careful about this thing, but we must understand it has to be a very well thought design that we make. Then we create it. First, we have to design it, then we actually create it. So that created temporary multi-organization can deliver the building that we want. right? So this thing we might or we can call a system. You can call a system. What is a system? Give me an example of a system. Not uh, necessarily from construction industry. You are looking at a system. What is that system? Now we are looking at a system. What is that system? Nobody knows. Currently, you are looking at a system. For at this very moment, you are looking at a system now. What is that system?
Computer.
Computer system, right? If you are looking at a mobile phone, is it a system? Huh? What is a system then? What do you understand by the word system?
A set of things working together.
A set of things, very good. A set of things working together, right? So that's what we call a system. So there are few things working together, probably connected together and working together to do something. So that's a system. So you are looking at a system, your computer. Of course, we learned that computer is a system. We identify like when we learn computing, we learn that there's this system unit. Then there is printer, there is monitor, there is keyboard, there is mouse. Likewise, various different units connected together, working together to perform something that we want. So we call it a computer system. And we might get confused whether the mobile phone, when we look at it, whether it is a system, because it's one thing. But inside the mobile phone, we know that there are various different elements connected together, working together. And since they are together, working together, connected together, etc., it can perform what it can do. But if we had only the screen with us, but not the other components connected to that, we don't get anything, right? So a system is something like that, where there are several different elements are connected together, working together to perform something that, of course, they can't do alone. So that's a system. Right? Here we can see if only the architects are there, well, they can do certain things, but not complete the building. Well, then we can say, okay, builder can build the building. Of course, builder can build the building, but if we put only a builder to this temporary remote organization, then what to be built? Okay, that's why we need other people. So when they are all together and working together only, they can give out the building. Right? So this temporary multi-organization is therefore we can look at it from a system point of view. We can look at various things from a system point of view. Like you are looking at a system that is your computer system or your mobile phone, etc. But through the screen of that, you see in the corner of that another system. That's me. Right? I'm also a system. You are a system. I'm a biological system. So if I'm a biological system, a doctor can look at me from a biological point of view, system point of view. My organs are different elements and they are working, they are doing various things, but because they are working together, I am alive and able to speak to you, teach you, etc. Otherwise, I'm not able. Right? So looking at something from a system point of view is interesting. And we can know various things in depth from the system point of view. So that therefore, it is important that we consider our project strategy or temporary multi-organization from a system point of view, which we are going to do next week. All right. That's all we can do today. It's 4:30. Of course, we got a little late to start. Anyway, you have another lecture, isn't it? So we can't take more time. So we will stop it for the day. Visit Moodle because I will post a quiz, right? So you are supposed to complete it. Okay. So it's kind of MCQ type of a quiz. You can do it 3 times. And you can improve your mark by doing it 3 times. Say the overall final mark will be average of your attempts. So if you do get 50 marks in the first round and 100 marks in the second round, your mark will be 75. Something like that. Okay. Right. So I will be posting it soon. I have to prepare the questions and all this, so I will need some time, but probably by Monday it will be there. Right. So complete that. There will be a time limit. It will be shown, and you can't come back. When you answer the question, go forward. 1 question at a time. Go forward. Answer next one, but you can't come back and change the answer for the previous. Right. So remember that. Okay. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, sir.
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 I think you will come this meeting.